Lately, I feel I don't have time for anything despite being occupied all the time, so I decided to actually do something about it, and I decided to time track my time. So what I want is an application that every 15 minutes buzzes or gives me some sort of warning that I should register what I did on the last 15 minutes. I looked for a bit, I didn't find an application that would do this easily, so I decided to just live code my own. So we're going to see how I would actually go this live. If it's your first time here, my name is JD. I've sold my first company, now I spend my days teaching people how to use AI and AI automations. Let's get started. Okay, so I have a new folder here on the left. I have Quad code installed, which I can run by just writing Quad. And I'll just give it permission, and now I need to actually create a prompt, and so I divide the prompt into three: the technology, the features, and the UI. Technology is just what I want to use to actually create this app, and for that I'm going to use Flutter. If you never use Flutter, it's just an application that allows you to easily make apps that you can then both launch for iOS and Android, so I'll just code it, and it's very easy. Then I need the features, so I need to decide what I actually want the app to do, and I'm going to write the features. These are the features I want. I want to be able to register activities, I want to categorize activities, I want to notify to register the activities so that I don't forget, and do every 15 minutes or other interval, and I want to be able to view day and week statistics by category. Then we have the UI. I'm actually going to leave this for later, and I'm just going to start writing the prompt so that Claude can start. I just start by telling the technology and then how I want to store the data. Then I go to the actual features. The features look like this. I want the app to have the following features: allow the user to register an activity, allow the user to choose a category for the activities, notify the user every time a certain interval of time passes, reminding him to register the activity for the last interval of time, 15 minutes by default, and lastly, view day and week statistics grouped by category. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm using Super Quad, which basically just adds more functionality to Quad code, and from what I've seen, the results are better, so I'm just going to keep using that, and then I'm just going to tell him this. So let's hit enter and wait. Every now and then it will ask you for a permission, and you just have to allow it, or allow even any edit on this session to just keep it going. So I'm just going to allow it, and it will continue. After a while we can see it's finished, so we now just need to run to check if it's working. So I'm just going to actually ask Claude to run it. Again, we'll need to give it some permissions. Let's give it the permissions it needs. After a bit we got this result. In this case it looks weird because it's on a computer, but we can just do inspect, and we can click here, and it will then look like a phone. If, for example, I choose the iPhone 14 Pro Max, it will look like this, and now we can actually test. Let's create an activity. Let's give it a name. Filming of the type work, the duration 15 minutes, and let's save the activity. We can see this part is working. We can also see we only have some preset categories, so we want to change this. And we can go to our statistics page, and we can see the day and the week. If we click the categories, we can see we actually have some categories. We can try another one. Let's call it hobbies. Choose a color, a different one. It seems to be working, and we also can delete. Yeah, we can. Okay, so let's go back. We can see we have the settings under this debug button. We have the reminders, and we have the reminder interval of every 15 minutes. Let's change this to 5 minutes. You can see we got an error, so we can go back to Claude and ask it to fix it. In this case, Claude already found the error and was fixing it even before we told him to, so let's just wait and see if it actually fixed. Okay, now it ran again. Let's see if it's working. We go to the settings and we change this, and it should be set to 5 minutes. I decided to change the code to actually allow for 1 minute reminders so that we can test more easily. I'm just going to tell Claude that. We started, now we should have the option for 1 minute. It's default. So let's just wait 1 minute and see if it actually notifies us of anything. It's been about a minute and there were no notifications, so we need to understand why this happened. If you go to Quad code, we can see there are some notes, and one of them says notifications are limited on web browsers. this might be working on the phone, but not actually on the web browser or testing. So the next step would be to actually connect my phone and see if this is working. So I'm going to do that, connect my phone by cable and test it again. Now I have connected my phone, so I'm just going to ask Cloud Code to run it on my actual phone. After a bit, I got it installed and it's actually asking for notifications, so I'll just allow it. Now the app started on my phone. I'm just going to set the timer for 1 minute and now I'll just wait to see if we get a notification. It's been more than a minute and I didn't receive any notification, so I'm just going to tell Claude that so that he can fix it. I'll just do something like this. I've set notifications for 1 minute and waited. Where I received no notifications, I gave it permissions to notify me. So I'll just run it and wait. It's been a bit and now I can see that I actually get a notification. Not very pretty, but it's a notification asking to actually log my activity. Now that this part is done, we can start working on the next part, which is making sure the app looks good. So the best way to do it is to actually go to Pinterest. I found this design, which is interesting enough, so I want to create the app to look like this. So I'll just expand it, I'll get the image. And then I can just give it to Cloud Code, and I can tell them, change the app UI to be more similar to this one, and I add a screenshot, make sure there's a bottom navigation bar, and I'll just run it. I'll remove my phone so that it runs again on the browser and we can see it. So let's just wait. It's been a couple of minutes and we can see now it's looking much better. So I'll just add a new entry. I'll call it coding. I'll leave it at work and I have the duration, which is the 15, and I'll just do this. Now we can see the activity was set successfully, but we can see it on the main screen, so we have to look into that. We can see it's on the statistics, our categories and our settings. Now if we went to home, you can see it actually there, so it's just not updating at the time it should. So I'm just going to go back and ask Claude to fix it. I'll just say this. When I add a new activity, the main app screen is not updating. Also make sure that when a user is entering an activity, it is actually logging the last 15 minutes before the current time. So we don't want to actually log now, we want to do the last 15 minutes. So I'll just tell him this and then we'll wait. It seems to have finished now, so let's take a look. Let's try and add a new activity. Let's again say filming. Leave it, can make it exercise just to test it. Then we'll save the activity and you can see now it immediately added. But there are some options still not working, so let's just quickly fix this. For example, we don't have the settings, so we can't actually add it, or even by clicking. Other than that, it seems to be working, so let's just do that quick fix and also remove additional info we don't need. Let's also check if when we create a new activity, it's actually logging the last 15 minutes. We can see it's actually going 15 minutes back, so that is working as well. We just need to quickly fix this too much information and not working. I'll just say something like this. Make the activity editable by clicking the 3 dots. And also remove the information that is too much, like the person icons. Make sure the activities are ordered correctly and create a not registered card that should appear where there was time between the finish time of the last entry, the finish time of an entry, and the start time of the other, if it's more than 5 minutes. So if you finish an activity and then the next one starts after more than 5 minutes, it should automatically create a not registered card. Let's let it run and we'll come back. Let's see if now it's actually working. Let's add a new activity. Again, let's do filming. Work, and we'll just save the activity. And you can see now there's not too much extra information. I can edit, so let's now try to add an activity leaving some time. Just like this, and let's say I do from 3:20 and 3:23. And it actually autofilled the next part, so I'll just save the activity as reading. In this case it's personal, so I'll just save activity. And you can see it created a non-register activity. Lastly, let's make this editable so that the user can actually feel it. Let's just say make the register activity editable, and I'll just run. After a while, we can see now it's different and we can tap and actually edit our activity. So this is working pretty much as intended. This is how you can go from nothing to an app very quickly so that you can actually solve your own problems instead of buying or paying for someone to build something for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, subscribe for more.